Hello, my name's Mike and I'm an alcoholic. I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with the fifth step, my attempts to find an easier, softer way. The first time that I went about it, I got sober in 2022, and it was my second attempt at AA and recovery, having tried the first time when I was around 22 or 23 and going back out for a number of years, about 9 years. So when I came back in, I had nowhere else to turn. And so I was very, very receptive to what people were telling me. And I knew already the ropes of what was expected, as in get a sponsor, make yourself part of the home group. But that was the extent of it. I started to go through the steps, and as we worked through, I started to see that fifth step looming on the wall every time that my home group met. And I was very, very afraid of doing that. And when I did my fourth and wrote everything down and then proceeded on with my fifth, having gone through that with my sponsor, I decided that I was going to leave out some of the darker parts of my story. I thought that I could do it despite the book directly telling me otherwise, in a way where I wouldn't have to tell anybody those things. I thought, I've admitted this to God, I've admitted this to myself. What difference does it make if I tell another person about this stuff? No one needs to know this. And maybe it'll change their opinion of me if they do find these things out that I find so shameful. And I can sit here today and tell you that I do not recommend anybody do that. Whenever I share on this step, I share that I did that because it was a dangerous, dangerous thing for me to have done. And I know that because of how I felt for the months afterwards, where I delayed in doing a proper fifth step and tried to take other steps without having done that one correctly. And it's as one can imagine, it ate at me, and I felt like a fraud. I felt exactly like the actor in the book, taking a reputation that I know I didn't deserve because I did not do what was asked of me. And I had not fully shown myself for what I was, because I felt the picture was so ugly that if anyone ever saw that, that no one would ever want to be around me again. And so eventually it came to the point where I needed to do the fifth step properly. And I thank God that I didn't go out and drink, although the thought crossed my mind. But when I finally was able to select the person and go forward and do that, I feel as though my recovery changed. There was a change in trajectory. I had to stand in front of somebody and bear myself fully as I was. And in the end, when I told this person, they basically looked at me and said, okay. and we went forward. When I don't share things, when I let them stick in my mind and build up in my head, I build my own shame and pain around it to the point where it becomes an epic monolith of a thing that I cannot move or shift on my own. And it's very important that I have a proper sponsor and a higher power that I can share these things with, my fears, my shame, my pain, all the things that I tried to live with alone and solve my own way. But when I did this fifth step properly, and I had finally looked at the picture of what I had become through my addiction and my illness and everything else, it was not pretty, and it shouldn't have been. And that thing, that powered me to move forward and to look at the sixth step and the seventh step with the reverence that they deserved, because now it was a life or death mission. It was either go back to that, go back to what you were, or ask humbly that these defects of character that led you to act in these reprehensible ways be removed from you, so that you can become what you were supposed to be. So I hope that is useful to somebody. And I hope that when whoever you are, if you haven't done your 5th step, when you're able to do it, that you do so with the courage that the book asks of us, and do it right the first time. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble, and you'll save yourself a lot of pain. But not only that, it's when you come through on the other side, there is something better. There is something else waiting for you. And my life has changed immeasurably. I know now that if I hadn't done that correctly, I would have stayed stuck in that stage of my recovery, and most likely I would not have stayed in the program. And we all know what that means. So I wish you a sober and blessed day. Mike R., alcoholic. Thank you.